What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 23, Last Call from Music City. Did you hear me? Episode 23. There are 52 weeks in a year. This is episode 23. So we've been in this 23 weeks. This has gone on for more than half a year. If you had a baby at the beginning of the season, your baby is crawling right now, probably pulling themselves up, taking their first steps. That's how long we've been in this. So let's start off with Kirsten and Jasmine. They're meeting up for ice cream and they're having a conversation about starting a business together. They want to start a party bus business together. And I think that's a wonderful idea. And I think that Kirsten and Jasmine, for all intents and purposes, they seem to be getting along really well. They kind of come across as real friends. So yeah, that's a great idea. I think the party bus business seems to be kind of lucrative when you look at the bachelorette parties and the prom parties, and anytime any type of reality TV show is sending their cast somewhere, they're all in a party bus. So yeah, that's a great idea. Kirsten says that she is happy to not be married because being married was draining for her. But girl, you said yes on decision day. So what's going on? Why did you say yes on decision day if being married was so horrible? Chris and Nicole, they are still in the process of packing stuff up and trying to move in together. I feel like they've been doing this move-in thing for a while now. So they're FaceTiming Nicole's dad and they're inviting him for the holidays. At first, Nicole's dad was not seeing it for Chris at all. Nicole's dad did not think that Chris was strong enough, basically man enough, to handle his daughter. But throughout the process, he realized that, well, Chris ain't going nowhere. So I'm either going to like him or, my daughter's going to be mad at me. So now he's very supportive of their relationship. And as we're watching Nicole and Chris begin their life together, Nicole's bossiness is becoming, it was evident during the season, but there was always that hope that maybe Chris would run. But now that he said yes on decision day, now that he's in it, and I'm looking at her bossy ways, I'm just like, Chris, I hope you made the right decision. Moving on from there, Dominique. She's having dinner with her mom. She said that she has no contact with Mac. Dominique says that it's weird that Mac and Gina are together, but she said that she really doesn't care. Mac's behavior after the divorce is what makes her not want to have anything to do with him. And I forgot what his behavior was after the divorce. What did he do that was so horrible after the divorce? I think that they were just really mean to each other. There was all these accusations about how, they're what, so-and-so is one way in front of the camera, they're another way when the cameras aren't. They were just really mean to each other. She tells her mom that she has reached out to Gil. Her mom is very excited because her mom's sole purpose in life is to get her daughter hitched, is to get her daughter married, is to get her daughter hooked up to some man. And I don't know why. Why don't you encourage your daughter to go out there and make money or find a nice hobby or something? Why are you always pushing your daughter to find a man? Because Dominique is young. It's not like she's, entering spinster age. She's quite young and she's got a lot of time to find a man that's right for her. But her mom's wanting her to get married. Her mom signed her up for Married at First Sight. And I'm pretty sure that this whole Gil thing is her mom's idea. I don't know why, even though her mom acted like she was surprised when Dominique told her, which I think it was just for show. I think Dominique's mom was the one that put that idea in her head. Girl, why don't you reach out to Gil? I hear that he's still single and he's a fireman and he's big and buff and good looking. Girl, why don't you reach out to Gil? I think it was all her mom's idea for her to call or to reach out to Gil. Eris, he meets up with Kendra. Now Kendra was a potential for Married at First Sight. She was like I said, one of the potentials, but she didn't make it to the show. They didn't cast her. And really cute girl. I thought Kendra was so pretty. Very just a really articulate, intelligent. She had a sense of humor. To me, she was the perfect package. In other words, too damn good for Eris. I was screaming at my TV, Kendra, no, don't do it, girl. Please don't do it. Run in the opposite direction, girl. Because as they were conversating, is that even a word? As they were conversing, I felt like Eris just was not on her level. I don't know. And supposedly she reached out to him. She went to the show, or she went to the producers and let them know that she was interested in him or something. And I'm like, girl, no ma'am. But anyway, so they were having a conversation, and they have a lot in common. They're both only children. They both were raised by single moms. They both lost their dads, and they're both lactose intolerant. And, her deal breaker, because Eris asked her, so what's a deal breaker for you? And she said church. If you're not a church going guy, that's a deal breaker for her. And Eris had said something like, well, not everybody is going to find spirituality in a church. Some people might find it, meditating on a mountain somewhere. I don't know if he was trying to convince her, hey, don't give up on me, even though I don't go to church. I'm still a spiritual person. I just don't express it the way you do. Or I don't know if he was trying to say, well, this ain't going to work because, I'm not the church type. I don't know what was going on there. But surprisingly, I noticed that Eris was making eye contact with her. And he said to her, this is a great date, so would you be interested in a second? But Eris, he's full of it, right? Because in the beginning we all thought that he was really into Jasmine. In the very, very, very beginning, 6.5 months ago, we thought that he was really into Jasmine. Coming to find out, he wasn't. So I can't really read Eris, and I can't figure out if he's really into Kendra or not. But to me, Kendra is just, she's like a Lamborghini, and he's like I don't know, like he's like a 1992 Hyundai or something. But to me, she's just too classy for Eris. But I don't know. And I thought Eris seems like he likes them round the way girls. The girls the hood girls. I don't really see him with someone like Kendra. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Moving on back to Nicole and Chris. So they're hosting a birthday party for one of their dogs. Dominique, Clint, Eris, Mac, and Kirsten attend, and Mac and Dominique don't see her for each other. They are really over one another. They do not like each other at all. And during the puppy party, Mac dipped. He left really early. He was out of there. Kirsten said that she is ready to move forward from Shaq. And then Nicole and Chris, they talk about how wonderful so far married life is. They're so happy. Everything is just so perfect. And Clint tells Chris, well, of course, because you're still in the honeymoon phase. Yeah, exactly. You're still in the honeymoon phase. What I thought was really interesting is when Nicole told the girls, she says, he's seen me at my best. He's seen me at my worst. We've been through all these ups and downs. He's seen the good, the bad, the ugly of me, or something. Like, no, he hasn't, girl. No, he hasn't. Y'all have not had to deal with real deal Holyfield type of situations in a marriage. Y'all barely almost got a divorce at the damn furniture store because you wanted to buy every single tacky, gaudy thing that your eyes laid on, and he was trying to like pull you back and be like, girl, we don't need that. This is stupid. We don't need all this junk. Moving on from there, Gina. She's having dinner with her mom and her stepdad. So the mom does not understand why Clint did not fall head over heels in love with Gina. Maybe because on the first day of their honeymoon, she says she hated redheads. Maybe that has something to do with him not falling head over heels in love with her. And so, of course, they talk about how she's better off without Clint and there's something better for her. And she tells her mom about Mac, and I forgot what she said because Gina is so boring. I lose interest very quickly because she's not even interested in what she's talking about. She's not even interested in doing the scene. So I'm not even interested in really watching. Gina gives wilted flower vibe. Okay. She's as interesting as a wilted flower. Mac. So we get a little snippet of Mac. I guess he's back in whatever state he went back to, and he's going to be dealing in cannabis. So he's going to be making a whole lot of money. All of a sudden, he turned into Mac Daddy. When he was around his cannabis, he had on the shades and he was cussing because they bleeped something out, and he was talking about how he's going to be making a lot of money cultivating cannabis up there than he would in Tennessee. All of a sudden, it went from it went from prim and proper Mac, to Mac Daddy when he was around all of the marijuana. Now we have Eris, Shaq, and somebody else. I forgot who. So, Eris, Shaq, and Jasmine. So they're having dinner together, the three of them, and Shaq says that he's willing to be friends with Kirsten. He says, I don't have a problem being friends with Kirsten. And he talks about how there's plans for him to meet up with Kirsten, and he's really interested in what she has to say. And he says something about when he had met with her before, Kirsten wouldn't even look at him. Kirsten is really regretting saying yes, because I think she thought he was going to say yes as well, or she wishes that she had said no. She probably wishes that she had said no. Because he ended up saying no. And I think she feels embarrassed because she doesn't seem like the type of woman who is rejected by men. And so I think that she's like really struggling with that. Like, this person rejected me on national television. Gina, she's consulting with an attorney, and I don't even know why. Like, what are you doing? Why are you talking to an attorney? Because the show is going to do all of that for you. The show is going to take care of everything for you, the divorce and all of that. But anyway, she's consulting with an attorney, and she needs to know what's going to happen with Hank, because Clint has really fallen in love with the dog, and he still has the dog, I guess, on and off or whatever. And the whole conversation about Hank with the attorney was stupid, because after all of that, she's like, oh, my ex-husband, he spends a lot of time with the dog, and, he fell in love with the dog, as if she's really worried about Clint taking Hank from her. And then at the end of the conversation, she basically is like, well, she tells us, she says, I'm not worried. I know he's not going to do anything. I trust Clint. So why are we bringing this up? Clint is not going to take your dog. He's not going to take Hank. Okay. If he was, he would have. He's not going to steal Hank. So why is this even a topic of conversation with anybody? Kirsten, she's visiting her cousins. Her cousin who's married. So she's telling them, because they didn't know, this is like, well, they didn't know at the time that she had gotten a divorce. So she goes to visit them to let them know what the progress is and the status of her marriage. So she breaks it to them that her and Shaq will be divorcing, and that he will no longer be a part of the family. And I'm like, when was Shaquille ever a part of the family? He was begging and pleading to see anybody in her family other than her mom and the people that he had already met at the wedding. He was begging to be a part of her family, to see her whole entire family. When was he a part of her family? Kirsten brings up that Shaq was, I don't know why she is so obsessed with Shaq crying on decision day. It's as if she needs someone to confirm with her, well, he was crying because he really wanted to be with you, Kirsten. It's like she's begging for someone to tell her. Every time she brings up Shaq crying, it's like you can tell she wants somebody to say, well, he was crying because he really does love you, and he only said no because of whatever stupid reason, but deep down inside, Shaquille really wants to be with you, and that's why he was crying. It's like you keep bringing up the fact that this man was crying on decision day. A lot of people cry on decision day. Y'all have been through like a very crazy ride, being married to a stranger. Y'all still bonded. Y'all were still connecting. It didn't work out. Why can't the man cry about the fact that this marriage is over? This marriage has ended. That maybe he feels like a failure. He couldn't make you happy. Y'all were like attached to the hip for like 60 days. Now it's all over. Like, what is going on, Kirsten? What is wrong with Shaq crying? Why do you keep bringing it up every chance you get that this man was crying? Because you want to believe that he really wants to be with you deep down inside? Because what, in reality, you also still want to be like, what is going on, Kirsten? So she says that, her cousin's husband was like, well, I'm kind of surprised that it didn't work out, because I thought that y'all would work out. And Kirsten was like, why did you think that? All of a sudden I don't know if she got suspicious, or like she needs affirmation that maybe they were supposed to be together. And the cousin-in-law says, well, because on paper y'all are a great match. And so Kirsten, then her cousin asked her, well, do you miss him? And she says she doesn't miss him, which I call BS on that. I think she does miss him. The cousin says that Shaq wanted the perfectly packaged wife. And I don't agree. I don't think he wanted the perfectly packaged wife. I think he just wanted a wife that he felt like was really into him. And I don't think Kirsten gave that. I don't think Kirsten gave, oh my God, I want to be with you. I love being next to you. I want us to be as one. I'm so drawn to you. I think I'm falling in love with you. I have feelings for you. I feel strongly for you. She wasn't giving off the vibes of a woman who really wanted to be with him. And he picked up on that. And so, yeah, come on, Kirsten. You thought you were playing him, but you got played. You thought you were really making this man feel like there was a possibility with you, but he already peeped game. He already figured it out. He picked up on all of the clues that you were leaving behind, that you really were not that into him. The cousin doesn't understand why Kirsten is willing to meet up with Shaq. She doesn't get it, because she's like, once he said he wanted a divorce, I mean, that's your closure, which is, I agree with that. That was the closure. There's nothing more to discuss. Dominique. So this was the funniest part of this whole entire episode. Dominique FaceTiming Gil. Gil wasn't having it. Gil was not having it. He was not interested. He was like, what the hell is going on? Who the hell are you? And what the hell do you want from me? So she's FaceTiming Gil, and Dominique tells Gil that she ended her marriage 11 days in. And Gil did not like that, because the fact that she ended her marriage so quickly, he was like, you really didn't give it a chance. You gave up too quickly. You should have stuck it through all the way until the end. And, Dominique, she's just like, well, I knew early on that I didn't want to be with him, or whatever she said. And so hopefully he doesn't see her as a runner. I mean, Gil really wanted to be married. He really wanted a wife, and he thought he found that in Merla. But Merla was just about playing games. And unfortunately, he didn't find that out until after they both said yes on decision day. And then they started living together. And, married life was just not for Merla. So the fact that she gave up so quickly, he's probably comparing her to Merla, and he's probably thinking, oh, okay, so she's one of those. She likes to leave her husband. So he said that, I mean, he made it seem like it kind of took him a while to get over being married, to get over Merla. He didn't say that, but that's the impression that I got, that maybe he was kind of like, he needed time, because this man was really heartbroken. And it wasn't like a heartbreak from sadness. I think it was a heartbreak from anger that this woman had led him on for so long, and even said yes to him just to turn around and want to divorce him. So he says he lost a lot of trust. First he said, I lost a lot of trust. And then he clarified, he says, in women. He said, I lost a lot of trust in women. And here you are leaving your husband 11 days in. Okay. So Gil, he was like, well, I gotta go. So yeah, I'll see if I can squeeze you in some other time, or whatever he said. It did not seem hopeful at all. Gil was not interested. Like I said, I think her mother talked her into this, because I don't see Dominique as someone who, number one, I don't really see her the kind of person who would even watch Married at First Sight like that. She seems like someone who probably starts her partying on a damn Wednesday and parties, throughout the whole week and the weekend. And I think her mom was the one that was like, girl, you need to contact Gil. Gil wasn't interested at all. I mean, he saw right through Dominique. Kirsten and Shaq. So they finally have their meeting. Kirsten says that she wanted to close this out completely. She wanted closure. So basically it seems like she was the one that had called the meeting, which I'm thinking to myself, Kirsten, girl, why? This man evidently, broke your heart, made you feel some kind of way when he said no on decision day. Why did you want to meet up with him? For what? So she started off by saying something like, well, you said all these things about me that made you want to say no on decision day. Like, basically you were pointing out all the things that I didn't do as a wife, but don't you think that there were some things that you didn't do as a husband? I don't remember exactly what he said to that. So then she asked him, why did you cry on decision day? We're back to that again. And he says it was emotional for him. And he said that it was a decision that he had made for himself. Like, he was proud of himself. And he also told her that he didn't know what his decision was going to be until that day. He says, I wasn't trying to blindside you. I wasn't trying to embarrass you or make you feel some kind of way. I truly did not know what I was going to say until that day. And so he asked her, so where do we go from now? And I guess, she was like, well, I could be cordial or whatever she said. But basically, they've decided to go their separate ways. And if they're ever within the same vicinity, they're going to be cordial to one another. They're not going to be friends. That's not going to continue. But they have enough respect just to be cordial with one another. So after she left, Shaq tells us that the meeting went exactly the way he thought it would go. Kirsten was going to show up and, show no emotion, not be nurturing at all. And yeah, she was kind of cold. But then again, her heart was broken. I don't know if I feel funny saying her heart was, because I know that she really wasn't into him. I know that she wasn't into Shaq like that. She was just embarrassed. I think she was just embarrassed about the whole situation. And because of that, I don't see how anybody could have expected her to be warm and nurturing and loving at that moment. She felt embarrassed. She got dumped on TV. So then they have this axe throwing situation. Everybody's there except for Kirsten and Shaq, I think. So it's just, another useless scene. I don't know why they keep subjecting us to these endless, useless, nonsensical scenes. So everybody gets together. They're axe throwing. There's when Dominique shows up. I don't even remember how it started, but somehow or another, Clint was like touching her hair and talking about how soft it was or something. And Gina says, well, you never petted me like that. Girl, why do you care that he never petted you like that? Like, why do you care? But then she says, later on when Dominique and Clint kissed, because they were challenged or something, when they kissed, Gina talks about how she just wasn't, she's like, I'm not jealous. That's how I know that I'm over Clint, because I wasn't jealous at all when they kissed. Sure, Gina. Everything that Clint does, you have a reaction to. You have something to say about it. Like, I don't really hear Clint talking about Gina that much, but every single chance she gets, she's got something to say about Clint. So anyway, so there's this challenge or whatever, where I don't even know how it went down, but I don't know if they lost or won the challenge. I don't know. But Clint and Gina, they ended up kissing. And I was just like, wow. That kiss was kind of passionate. Like, there was something there. I don't know, maybe I was just seeing things. And not only that, but after they kissed that first time, they came back and kissed again, and then they left together, like with their arms around each other. So I don't know what's happening there. It would be kind of hypocritical if they do start something, because Dominique said that it was weird for Gina and Mac to get together. Speaking of Gina and Mac, Gina calls Mac. She calls Mac. So, she calls him on FaceTime, and, she starts primping herself, making sure that her hair is together when he answers, but he didn't answer. He didn't even answer. And everybody was like crowded around her, couldn't wait for Mac to answer the phone. And, she's getting herself all ready, like, for sure he's going to answer my call. No, he didn't answer. In fact, I think he put it on ignore. That's what it seemed like to me. It wasn't just him not answering. I think he put it on ignore, because she was like, oh, he must be in a meeting. No, he just doesn't want to talk to you. He's probably sitting on a couch somewhere eating hot Cheetos, watching television. He doesn't want to talk to you. That's all that is. Episode 23. 23 weeks of this. And there's 2 more episodes left in this season. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, subscribe to my channel. And I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.